over Twitch, please drop a follow. I did start it today, the Spotify platform. So please check us out on Spotify. If you're not watching us live, you can re-listen to us on the audio side. Um, I do have the first week's episode, so we missed you last week, a week or the official week 2 of college football. We're gonna go over. I'm not gonna go through every game of the last 2 weeks, but I'm gonna go over records, and I'm gonna let Ryan kind of skim through his picks and what were good bets, surprise bets, and what were bad bets. I will go over our overall records from 2 weeks so far, 3 weeks or 2 weeks so far. So far, me, Matt, and Ryan are all 500 at 8-8. Last week I had the best week at 5-3. Jacob went 4-4. Matt and Ryan went 3-5 each. The week before, I want to say I went 4-3-5. I went 5-3, so I guess I went 3-5. Um, but I guess besides that, what are your takes from the first 2 weeks of college football so far? What were some bets you were like, I thought that was going to hit or didn't, or a bad bet that actually ended up being good? No, your thoughts. You got the floor.
I'll definitely tell you a bet I would have taken that probably would have ended me would have been Penn State covering, what was it, 16 and a half over Bowling Green last week?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, shoot, Bowling Green having the lead the entire first half. I probably would have taken Penn State with the points. I just would have lost money all over that game. Yeah. Penn State had to take a fourth quarter drive to win the game. Bowling Green still had a chance. They were driving down the field. They hadn't made that last turnover. They might have had a shot to send that thing into overtime.
Mac attack, man.
Probably the biggest. That was probably without a doubt the biggest surprise. Another one, gotta say it, Notre Dame. Last week, losing to Northern Illinois. I mean, I don't know what the payout on that was, but if you
$1.5 million.
If you took the Huskies last week, congratulations. I hope you enjoy your vacation, because that's exactly what I would have done as soon as that money hit my account.
Right.
But really surprised. Utah's a team that I thought was going to be playing a lot better. They have not been able to put anybody away. So that's a team I'm going to stay away from for a little bit until I see a little more of them. You figure Cam Rising being in his 25th year in college football, he'd have been able to put some points up on the board this year. Team I'm willing to bet on at any point right now, Texas and Oklahoma State.
Okay.
They're covering their spreads. They're scoring points. Oklahoma State will even get you a few upsets, I bet, this year. I don't know. I think Arkansas was favored last week by 4. Until late in the third quarter, Oklahoma State had that on lock. That was their game. It was almost their game to lose. They let Arkansas come all the way back, but they did end up winning it in double overtime, so good for them. But they got a pretty cake schedule coming up. Texas looks super dominant. If there's 2 teams that I'm taking the money on the next few weeks, Texas and Oklahoma State.
Okay. I like that. I gave some impressions on some teams I were impressed about. As far as bets, let's kind of look through some of my bets now. I'm pretty I don't know what the hell Kentucky was doing against South Carolina, but
sucking it up. That's what. Sucking it up.
Sucking it up. Oh my God, man. That was pretty bad. Shout out to Iowa and the offense of just going stagnant in the second half of that game.
Yikes.
Against Iowa State.
Less than 50 yards offense in the second half or something like that.
Yeah. That was like,
hey, could be worse. Kentucky had negative 18, I think. Negative 18 yards of offense.
I was like, oh my God, that's rough, man. Besides that, looking through the bets, week 2, week 1, I guess I missed on some. Like I took Oak State. Once again, I know what Florida was doing against Miami. Big bets to Southern Cal. They've been way more impressive than I expect. In addition to stay in the state of California, shout out to the Bears too, the Golden Bears, beating Auburn and Auburn. I took them. I took Cal to cover. I thought they were actually of all the newer teams, of 3 teams in the ACC. Everybody was thinking SMU, but I was like, I think Cal actually has a decent squad. That's
I
gonna
mean,
be a game to kind of watch in 2 weeks when they go
I
to
would
the
have said
South.
this. I would have thought SMU was going to be the best of the new programs, but that first week, Stanford didn't look like a slouch. I know they didn't pull off the win, but it was against TCU,
Yeah,
a team that probably on paper looked way more talented. So Stanford might be fun to watch, but Cal looks like the best of the newcomers right now. Shoot, unless unless Clemson or Florida State can really start picking them up, man, Miami might be playing Cal in the ACC championship.
I don't. Yeah. I say also check out Louisville. Louisville's been pretty impressive. I mean, they haven't really played nobody, but they look. If you actually like watching games, I'll speed watch it like on 6X, but they actually look like efficient. Like, and there's no mistakes. There's no like stupid errors. So I think Jeff Brom going back there is going to have a decent year. We see how they go when they actually play some real competition. But their team, Miami handled business. Damn, Miami's up to number 10 already. That's crazy. Man, I'm good. I'm happy for the Hurricanes. Man.
That's what's gonna happen, man. That's just going to
We
get out.
see.
They're going to get overhyped. They're going to come. Well, they're going to have Florida State go down there, and they're going to drop the ball to our advantage, and I can't wait.
I'm hoping so. I'm tempted to go to that game, but I was like, let me see how Florida State's going to look over the next 4 before we get down there. Go to that hostile game. I've never been to a game down there in Miami, so. But with that being said, man, let's get it rolling. I'll have Jacob and Matt's picks. So once again, this is a Florida State pod. Matt might join us later, guys. So if you're watching live, just bear with him. We'll try to get one of those little taters that actually show up. Cowards, man. Cowards. After a win, too. You thought they'd be out here bragging about, oh, we beat App State. They were going to the playoffs. Make up for it. I guess they get like average 30 points a game now. After scoring 3 the week before. All right, well, we're going to start in the Big 12, which is a little weird to say. These are 2 of the teams that are actually had a pretty struggle week last week with Kansas State needing to come back against Toledo, and Arizona's, for most of the game, struggling with Northern Arizona. Sometimes, like I said, Notre Dame found the hard way. You got to still show up, or these teams will beat you, Football's not one of those sports you can come up trying to play the game passively. But with that being said, we got the Wildcats. Well, they're both Wildcats, ain't it?
Yeah.
No, damn.
Yeah.
Wildcats versus the Wildcats in the Big 12, man. We got 100 teams in college football. We got like numerous duplicates.
Let's see if we can get Kentucky in there too. All 3 Wildcats. Just
all 3 of them, man. Should be a Wildcat brawl. Well, the way Kentucky looked, they were like, nah, we good.
They're out, yeah.
With that being said, man, Arizona at Kansas State. First matchup between these guys in the Big 12. New versus old. Like I said, they both struggle. Kansas State is a 7-point favorite in this game. So they're not here. I'm trying to talk big money, see where the money is going in this game. Right quick. There we go. Right now, 54% of the money is choosing Kansas State to cover. With that being said, Ryan, the floor is yours. What do you think of this game?
Well, I mean, like you said, both of them struggled last week against teams they really probably shouldn't have. Not to be down on Toledo. I know every once in a while they come out and have a 10-win season. Good for them. But Kansas State is the team I probably would have picked going into the season to win the Big 12 this year. First year, no Texas, no Oklahoma. Kansas State was, in my mind, was one of the favorites to win the division. They're still ranked 14. Everybody has a bad game. I wouldn't get down on them yet. Arizona, first Big 12 game, first conference game in the Big 12. Should have put a team like Northern Arizona, a team I think they pretty much play every year. It's not like you're unaccustomed to playing this FCS school. So you would have thought that they would have been a little more prepared, take them down, show off their offense. But I'll attribute that to what I think is one of Arizona's, I wouldn't say problems, but just quirks. Is Fafita is a big play, big risk, big reward player. You know, he's prone to turnovers. He's a little careless with the ball sometimes, but they let him play his game because when he's on, he's bound to make a few big plays, keep you in the game. Because they both struggled, I don't know who I take. I know Kansas City's favored right now, especially because I believe it's in Kansas State, right? It's in Manhattan.
Yeah, that's Manhattan.
Yeah, it's in Manhattan. So I'm not sure about that one. I'd like to see a good game, and that's why I'm going to take the over on the points today.
Okay.
Because these are two offenses that had the potential for a lot of high scoring, and right now it doesn't look like the defenses are going to stop anybody. So I believe the points is 54.5.
I can get you 58.
58.
Yeah, I think they shot to 58.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll still take 58. I could see a 38-31 game, something like that. Maybe somebody puts 40 up. So I'm gonna take the over on the points this weekend in Kansas State and Arizona.
Oh, awesome. You know the Big 12, man. If there's a scoring league, that's definitely the Big 12.
A lot of points in the Big 12.
A lot of points. It'll be the fun league, man. Well, going through with Jacob and Matt. Matt took Kansas State to cover against Arizona, and Jacob took Arizona to cover against Kansas State at 7.5.
Okay.
So that's a little fight between those two. So I guess it comes down to me, and I'm gonna jump with the Jacob side. I think Arizona's gonna cover.
Guy has one good week and you jump all on his picks, huh?
Right. I think in that Northern Arizona game, I think they were trying to be what's the word? I guess not show their hand too often. And which I think is the same problem Notre Dame went through. Not show their hand, but also forget, hey, you still gotta win the game and stuff. I think what's his name? McMillan from Arizona. I don't know his first name. It's not Taylor. But he had 2 catches for I think 20 yards in the North Arizona game after going for 300 in the first game.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's their leading receiver already.
He's a first round pick too, man. Projected first round pick. With that being said, I think Arizona gets it right. K-State didn't look good against Toledo. They had to come back, which I'm really surprised with their defense because K-State is usually pretty solid with the defense. And I think Arizona's going to put some points. And the over is a good pick because I was really considering. I think 58 is a good number. But I'm going to go Arizona. I think Arizona's going to handle business, get this covering the Wildcats. So, and they also party hard. That's the West Coast sports stay over there.
Oh, I didn't know Arizona down. No, Arizona State.
Arizona State. Arizona State. I think Arizona State, as it was. Well, Wildcats party. I have one of my old bosses. She went to Arizona. So I think it was Arizona. It might have been Arizona State. So actually, let me take that back. Yeah, it was Arizona. Arizona State's in Tempe, right? Or Tempe. And I think Arizona's in Tucson. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's right. Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep it moving. We got the Big 2 conferences clashing in Madison, Wisconsin, as Alabama travels down to Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Badgers. Bama is a 15.5 point favorite in this game at the present odds. Ryan, who do you have with the Tide and the Badgers?
Yeah,
what's the best pick you think to make money off?
The best pick you're gonna make on this one is just taking Bama, man. I know it's up in Wisconsin. That's not something Bama does a lot, by the way. They don't really travel out of state to play a lot of their games. They either play in a neutral field or you gotta come play there. You gotta come play in Tuscaloosa, yeah. So, I mean, I really like that they're going up to Madison to go play this game, but look, Milroe is one of the Heisman favorites for a reason. He's looked like it, even though Bama as a whole hasn't looked like their usual Bama. DeBoer's coming in. He's trying to figure things out. Brand new coaching staff. There's going to be some skips, some hurdles to jump over. But Milroe does not look like he's lost a step from last year. He's already thrown 5 touchdowns. I think he's already thrown for over 400 yards. And that's with only throwing slightly over 100 last week because they mostly ran.
Mostly ran.
Yeah, they mostly ran the ball. But Milroe just looks too good. Tyler Van Dyke, no love lost. Miami boy. Well, I mean, played at Miami. He's got a history of choking in big games, and this is probably one of the biggest opponents he's played in his career. I'm sure he'll win a few games up there in Wisconsin, but this isn't going to be one of them. So I want to take Bama. I'm going to take Bama cover.
Bama to cover. Not too bad. Bama originally this game opened at 8.5. It went up to 15. I think 16 was the peak, but came down a little bit. But I was side with you too, Ryan. As is Jacob. So you have three of us choose the Bama to cover. I think this Bama at the end of the day, this is gonna come to, hey, my players are better than your players. It really is like people try to complex football, and sometimes it's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bama's not obviously gonna be the same Bama without Nick Saban behind the wheel, but they still got some pretty good team, one of the best rosters out there. And kind of say like besides Michael Penix, most of the board quarterbacks were kind of he ran them to death. Even Michael Penix, he ran them a little bit, but like he had like a true passer that was just happened to be mobile too. So I think Bama's going to be doing like a lot of read option, RPOs. They can put up some scoring threat. We see how good this defense is. I still got some questions. Not with just the stars. I think the depth. I think they're talented. Might just be young, but I think Bama steamrolls. This is a 12 o'clock game too. They got a lot of 12 o'clock games that are big the last 2 weeks.
I just don't think, Wisconsin's usually got one of those big running backs. They're going to run all over you. They got the big O-line that's going to protect, so the quarterback's not usually a huge factor because you run, pass. But right now they don't really have that. They don't have that traditional big Wisconsin O-line. They don't have that traditional big Wisconsin running back. They've already struggled against teams that they really shouldn't have, Western Michigan and South Dakota. Just two teams they really couldn't put away. And Bama, they took on, it's Western Kentucky and South Florida, but those are teams that sometimes get some upsets, and Bama took both of them down pretty handedly. So, especially considering Bama only beat South Florida last year, 17-14?
17-3.
Was that 17-3?
17-3.
17-3? Yeah, so revenge game, man.
Yeah, the players came ready. All right. Well, we're gonna I guess let me get close. Matt chose the under in this game, 51. Surprise. I guess he has some faith in Wisconsin defense. Stop Alabama's offense a little bit.
I'm not saying that Bama's going to put up 50, but
I said at least put up 30.
At least put up 30.
30. Unless you don't think Wisconsin's going to be able to score.
Oh, yeah, could be.
Yeah, that could be. Okay,
I guess he'd need to be here to tell us, but since
his other priorities over here.
Yeah.
Over here. These Clemson guys, I swear.
This thing about Clemson fans, man, they don't love football enough.
They don't love football. No passion out there, man. Just Tyler from Spartanburg. Well, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go to the West Coast, up in Seattle, Washington State, taking on the cross-state rivals, Washington Huskies. Used to be a Pac-12 matchup. Now it's Big Ten versus Pac-12, Pac-2.
Pac-2.
Pac-2. Washington is a 4.5 point favorite. I don't even know who the head coach of Washington is. Look that up.
I looked it up earlier and it's already escaped me.
Washington Huskies head coach. There we go. Head football coach. What's going to just tell me the name? Jed Fish. Oh, okay. Where's Jed Fish came from? Arizona? Oh, yeah. He was coach of Arizona. Oh, okay. Before this. All right, well, Ryan, let's take the floor. What do you think of this Cougs versus the Huskies?
Well, I mean, analysts, ESPN, whoever you want to say, most people have picked or Washington to be one of the bottom teams of the Big Ten this year. And I think that says a lot, seeing as they went to the championship game last year. But they definitely did lose some talent for sure. Lost DeBoer. He went to Alabama. You just said Jeff Fish took over from Arizona and just went up to Washington. And he did a pretty good job at Arizona. He was kind of on the cusp of bringing that program back up, being competitive again, had some big wins. But with this team depleted of the talent I had last year, new coach, new offense, I'm not feeling the Huskies right now. That says a lot because I like Washington. I like that royal purple and gold, man. That's good colors. But Washington State brought a lot of players back. They've already played significantly tougher competition, I'd say, this year.
Yeah, Texas Tech.
Yeah, putting Texas Tech away, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really handing it to them. And so I think Wazoo's here to fight, man. I think the Cougars are here to show that, look, there might only be two of us, but we're going to take this open schedule. We're going to do our best to compete. And not just the two teams that they're combined, $600 million or so, whatever they got out of those lawsuits from. Shoo! Any school would love to have that, man.
Nice.
Yeah, must be nice. There's got to be a lot of balls in the air. Neither of these teams are big run game teams. Especially neither coach really runs a whole lot of run plays. It's going to be all air raid all day, and I think Washington State's got the advantage right now. I think the defense looks better. Like I said, returning talent, returning coach. I'm going to take Wazoo. I'm going to take them to cover this week.
Let's go. See, I knew some of us FSU guys we just know some football because I'm right there with you, buddy.
Go.
I was very tempted to take the money line, but I was like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that Washington's at home. But I think Washington State's gonna have a little chip on the edge, not just with like proving to Washington that hey, you kind of fucked us over, leave us in the Pac-12, going to the Big Ten. But I think Washington State kind of like what you're hitting at. I think they got a lot of players returning. I think they're gonna play with a chip. Like, hey, there's some football in the northwestern part of that country over there that's not in Seattle, and we're gonna pop out and show out, kind of like Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Speaking of which, how about that Super Bowl halftime show, huh?
Man, this is hilarious. Kendrick's having the best year of his life. He didn't even drop an album.
Oh. I don't know. There's a whole lot of other people I'd rather be right now, man.
Yeah, right? I was like, God. At least not be Drake right now. Who would thought? 2024, man. Random crazy year. But I'm taking Washington State +5 with Ryan there. Matt and Jacob, which is also, this was part of, I was very 50-50 between these two bets. They both took the over 55.5. Kind of like what Ryan said. I think there's going to be some points put up. They've been looking like this game probably be in the 30s for each team. So, safe bet, So, catch that game at 3:30, I believe.
3:30? Really?
Yeah, 3:30. Okay. 12 o'clock game for them over there.
All right. Not bad. For the, what was it? Apple Cup.
Apple Cup. Apple Cup. Let's keep it moving. Moving down next, you got ACC SEC matchup. Who thought this would be a top 25 matchup? But here we are. BC, number 24 ranked. Which, side note, at least for my game, Boston College has been fucking good every year on all my dynasties. I guess just that run game, or people believe in Bill O'Brien like that hard. Which I'm not
be Bill O'Brien, yeah,
something back or something. But they've been good. Just FYI for all my people watching on playing college football 25. But we do got Boston College taking on Missouri. Top 10 Missouri. Missouri's a 16.5-point favorite. What's your thoughts, Ryan?
I've got
the SEC matchup.
And that's one of the most heated interconference games every time, ACC, SEC, because it's all about everybody wants to say one conference is the little brother, the other's the big brother. Well, whatever, man. Mizzou's really been stepping up the last few years after struggling for a hard minute there in the SEC. really only one solid season their first 10 years there. But right now, I know a lot of people are excited about Bill O'Brien. I know Boston College upset Florida State. I can't myself see Boston College going into Columbia right now and taking Missouri down. I don't see it. Castellanos, he's super athletic. That run game with he who should not be named, running the ball, Mr. Hill, whatever. Don't get me wrong. I think they got a much better offense than last year, which says a lot because their primary focus last year was defense, was keeping people from scoring. I think they got the ability to score now, but Mizzou, that offense, man, I think that offense that they got down in Missouri is way too talented for Boston College. Even with Bill O'Brien, his big football brain and his trickery, mixing up plays and whatnot, blitz packages, he throws everything at you, but it's not going to help him this time. Missouri, I'm going to take to win the game, but you know what? Because of that Boston College defense, I think I will take Boston College to cover the spread. 16.5. It's a little steep for me.
All right, make it work for it. I'll give you 17. Make it fair.
17? I'll take 17.
All right. Thomas Castellanos? Castellanos. Okay. He's a smart decision. I think he's a senior this year, right? Yeah.
So, yeah.
Crazy athletic, smart. As you saw, if you saw the Florida State game, he made the right decision every time. There was no mistakes. Didn't put the ball in danger too much. I'm not sure. It's like kind of say I don't believe he's going to be able to do that against Missouri, especially Missouri's defensive line. But I don't know. So I was still torn because that's plus 17. I was like, I think Missouri probably be about 10. 17 from even they're at home. I don't think Missouri's that kind of dominant. I still think they're a little bit overrated. I think they should be. Yeah, I don't think they're a top.
Okay.
I think maybe top 15.
Top 15. I give you top 15, but yeah, I like their top 10 right now.
Yeah. We see the hype is. Schedule's gonna play out, but I'm gonna take the under with this 54.5. I think this game probably could be like a 31-17 game right at 48. So I might be sweating.
I think it's pretty close. Yeah, 31-14. That's what I probably would have said.
Yeah. So give me the under. Matt's with me on that too. The 54.5. Jacobs with Ryan with the plus 17 for Boston College. Guess I'm going to credit Jacobs' vibes, even though his vibes are pretty off. So good luck with that bet, Ryan. Jacobs going to believe in it. And we can bash Wisconsin fans because guess what? They're not here.
I wish you would have told me that Jacoby was taking the same bet because then I would have made a different decision. Shoot.
Oh man, I mean you got time. They ain't here to stop you.
No. I got to stick with my gut. I said I could see Missouri 31-14. That's right at the 17-point spread. I'm gonna go 31-16. That's what I think. That's what I think the score is gonna be. Weird score. I think Boston College has to kick a bunch of field goals.
There's gonna be a safety.
Could be a safety. There could be a safety somewhere.
Could be a safety in there. All right. But we're gonna go back to the West Coast as we have another two from the Power 2 take on the Big Ten. As we got Oregon traveling over to Corvallis, Oregon. Take on the Beavers.
A Civil War.
Civil War, man. Not
I don't know why it's called that.
I mean, it's state. They're battling state, man. State of Oregon. You know, it's boys from the country versus the boys in the city.
Was there an old Duck Beaver war that I missed? Like in my history?
Is that who I think that is?
Yeah, like was there some? Oh shoot!
Is that him?
That might be him.
It might be him on those cameras. I don't know if you hear me. Matt, you hear us?
Yeah, we in here.
We in. We don't see you, but we hear you.
We in there.
We can hear you.
You came just in time.
Just in time. We're just like kind of bashing you and Jacob.
Yeah. We were wondering, maybe why is the Oregon State game called the Civil War?
I don't know. Google.
I'm telling you, I think there was a massive duck versus beaver war over some of the lakes out there in Oregon or something like that. They had to split the whole state. You either had to be with the ducks or the beavers.
Quack Attack or Angry Beavers.
Always go with the beaver.
Yeah, I always go with the angry beaver at that.
Yeah, go with the
Shout
Beavers.
out Nickelodeon.
Yes.
Bring back Angry Beavers, baby.
Heck, Angry Beavers, man. That's a good show.
That was a good show.
Well, since Matt's here, man, I'm gonna let Matt take off. So Matt, we're at the Oregon game. Oregon's 60-point favorite. I already have your bet listed, but I'll let you talk about what you think, thoughts on it.
What is going on with Oregon? Like, this is not what I expected after seeing Oklahoma just run through everybody last year with Dylan Gabriel. I don't know what's going on. Oregon State. I mean, when DJ's your starter, I mean, how bad is your backup? So, I was about to say, where'd he go? So Oregon's a weird one. I haven't figured them out this season, but I have a little bit more trust in Oregon than I do Oregon State. Oregon State, good defense, offense is lackluster, and I think Oregon actually, gets it rolling in the rivalry game. So give me Oregon to cover.
Oh, wow.
Let's go. That's
Okay.
right there. After seeing our offense the last 2 weeks.
It's got to change at some point, and why not?
Okay.
I took a lot of unders, so I feel like I got to wait for some point.
All right. Ryan, I'll let you go, man. What's your thoughts?
I'm with him, man. I don't know what's going on with Dylan Gabriel. Well, my thoughts is, hey, man, the transfer portal might not always lead you to greener pastures.
DJ.
You got to stop taking my lines before I get it to him.
Hey, baby, you just set them up. I knock them down.
But I was going to say DJ too.
Go in the alley.
No, I don't know what Oregon's doing, man. Really playing down the competition right now. Almost gave it away to Boise State. Could barely beat Idaho. So maybe now that they get back out of the state of Idaho, they're playing a team they're more familiar with, maybe, and Oregon State. Maybe the offense picks up a little bit, but I haven't seen enough to convince me. And like he said, Oregon State's defense is really not to be underestimated. It's what's kept them in all their games so far. I think it'll continue to keep in a bunch of games this season. So on this one, I'm taking the under. I just don't see him hitting that. What is it?
49.5.
49. Yeah, 49.5. I see him just coming short on that, man. So I'm going to take the under this week in the Civil War.
I think what I sent to you, Nick, I think I might have taken the under, but I changed the thought.
You took took Oregon to cover.
Okay, so I'm standing by that.
Word. Jacob's bet was for Oregon State to cover.
Oregon State's cover. Okay.
I love mine even more now.
Those vibes over there he has.
Bad vibe.
But I'm going to fight Ryan on this, and I took the over of 49.5. I am really worried about that a little bit. Because Boise State's defense was not good. They weren't good against Georgia Southern. I think they gave up 40 against Georgia Southern. So, but I think I do have a problem with Oregon. I think it's Oregon's offensive line. That's the problem with that team right now. Or some of it also might be the decision making of Dylan Gabriel. This might just be because he's coming to a new system, so he's not going to operate as fast as what Bo Nix did in his second year. But he only has 1 year to do it. So. But I think the biggest problem in the run game is kind of like is that like they're moving the ball, but it's like when you expect the Oregon, you're expecting like explosives.
That's what I was going to say. Big explosive plays.
Big explosive plays. They just have not had
a lot of dink and dunk football right now.
Yeah,
a lot of 4-yard, 5-yard, 6-yard plays.
And I think it's going to catch up to them. I really don't want to fight you on this, honestly, but I'm gonna live with it because I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna be a little bitch. I'm gonna live up to my bet. So I'll fight you on this, Ryan. Take the over. Hope it's like a 26, 25 game.
Okay, finally a worthy opponent, I guess.
For it. All right. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to go back to the East Coast, or actually up in the mountains. Ryan's probably familiar with this big game as we got the backyard brawl. West Virginia Mountaineers taking on the second team from Pennsylvania and the Pitt Panthers. The Mountaineers are 2.5 point favorites. Pitt had to do a big comeback against Cincinnati last week. They were down at least 2 touchdowns, coming back winning that by 1. West Virginia, I don't know who they played last week. I know it was like an FCS school, I want to say. But they went pretty big on this. Ryan, I'll let you lead since you're a resident Pittsburgh native. What's your thoughts on the Panthers and the Mountaineers?
This is one of my favorite games, period, when Pitt and West Virginia play. I love these matchups. I don't know if you remember, they played, I believe, 2 years ago. It was either last year or 2 years ago. Everyone expected West Virginia to run away with it. They needed a last-second field goal to put Pitt away. When these two play each other, they don't like each other, man. They don't like each other at all. And I miss the old Big East days when they used to have to play every year. One of my favorites, of course, number 2 West Virginia losing to 2-9 Pitt. 2-9 Pitt, man. Knocked out of the BCS championship contention. But West Virginia, that first week against Penn State, I took the points at the half. I know that bet paid off for me, but they just didn't show, which I expected. They didn't show in the second half. And I was to a Penn State fan who couldn't put away Bowling Green with any confidence. Pitt, on the other hand, like you said, yeah, Cincinnati was up on them late. Cincinnati struggled a little bit in the Big 12, first year in the Big 12 last year, but things like that happen. Point is, Pitt came back. They came back. They took the W, went home happy. So I got to go with Pitt, man. Shoot, I love everything Pittsburgh. But Panthers, I think they got this one. I think they're going to get revenge for that loss a few years ago. I think you're going to see a bunch of upset Mountaineers in Morgantown this week. So I'm taking Pitt, money line.
Pitt, money line. That's some confidence. That's in Pitt. So you have the home field advantage.
At the Steeler home advantage. That's Heinz Field, baby.
Oh, they still playing at Huntsville? Oh, I thought they got their own stadium on now.
Oh, if they did, I missed that.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
As far as I know, they still play at Heinz Field.
Okay. All right. Ryan, throw it over to you, man. What's your thoughts?
That's Matt.
Matt, yeah.
All us white people look alike.
I was going to say, dude, he literally says everything right before I say it.
See?
So,
You talk like, you act like, you're making it hard. Well, Matt, what's your thoughts on that backyard brawl?
I hear what Ryan's saying, but I mean, he's forgetting one thing. West Virginia is the Fighting Neil Browns. And how dare you ever expect Neil Brown not to cover a spread?
What was it? Not 10-2 last year against the spread?
Yeah, and you still haven't learned. You still haven't learned the Fighting Neil Browns. I mean, somebody cue Country Roads. Somebody start it.
I can hum it. No,
But,
for copyright
yeah.
infringement.
I just listened to So, all I'm going to say, West Virginia to cover, eat shit Pitt.
Eat shit Pitt.
You had to add that extra sting at the end, didn't you?
Yeah, the Neil Brown Pro Podcast for me.
Damn, I think I typed that wrong for you. I'm glad.
Welcome to the podcast sponsored by Vaseline and Neil Brown.
Neil Brown, Vaseline, dog. Neil Brown, this is a Neil Brown podcast. It's up for Ryan.
Yeah, Neil Brown sent me some NIL money, so
Yeah. Hit hollow him. Well, Matt's other Clemson buddy also think West Virginia's gonna cover.
I'm gonna change. I'm changing right now. No, just kidding.
You're not on a good streak, man. So far, you two have picked
don't
like
eat
all
shit,
the
Pitt.
same
Sorry.
games.
It's some vibes, man.
You guys have made the same picks almost every time.
It's going crazy.
This week?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh shit!
Yeah. You have different Oregon State But
I think that's the only one, man.
everything else has kind of been on the actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Except the Arizona Kansas State game too.
Okay. Okay. They got
got
two.
one.
They got
So,
2 out of 8.
oh man, y'all been conspiring.
Yeah. Right. Some collusion.
He's learning. He's learning, I
He's
guess.
learning
You've been peeking over at your test.
education. Well, the Florida State boys going to support the ACC, and we're going to go with Pitt. I'm gonna say Pitt to cover though. I don't know if the money line's tempting, but I think Pat Narduzzi is gonna find a way and just to show up and has motivated his team. Even I know Pitt was said some of their players like this was one of the worst offenses. It was so demoralizing watching the offense go on the field, knowing that they're probably gonna give up a touchdown, especially if you're a defensive player. But I think Pitt's gonna show up. I think Pat's a good coach. Not great, but good. And this is a rivalry game at home, and Team ACC, all coast conference, baby,
All coast.
all coast. We're not just regional; we're national.
The Atlantic California Conference.
That's gonna be won by West Coast teams.
Pat Narduzzi's a good coach, but he's no Neil Brown.
Brown. Stamp that, dog.
He feel like he's the Temu Neil Brown.
Well, we're gonna go over to another ACC team. That's we're not have not lived up to expectations, but they had a bye week to reset, and they're gonna welcome Mike Norvell's old stomping grounds and from Memphis as they travel to Tallahassee. Florida State's a 6.5-point favorite, third straight game they've been favored in. We're gonna see if they can actually try to cover. Well, actually, at this point, just trying to win. They were with the covering part. I'm gonna let our resident Clemson fan take the lead as he's in the darkness.
Yeah, it's called getting dark outside earlier these days.
Yeah.
At some point, Florida State has to. They have to, right? Like, I know Norvell's always got 2 L's in his last name, but there's not 3. Not until they at least play Clemson. We'll get there.
Not a chance.
Have you seen DJ? I've watched him for 2.5 years now.
Glenn Brock will be starting by then.
Yeah, well, you better hope it's today or Saturday. But I'm going to take Florida State to cover this for some reason. At some point, they have to. They're just too talented not to, except for DJ. But give me Florida State to cover.
Let's go. How about you, Matt? Not Matt. Ryan. Damn.
All white people.
Which white people are you talking to right now?
Alpha, not beta.
So I'm going to talk again.
That's what I'm talking.
Go ahead, Ryan.
What do you think, man? You know, I got my love. I have trust in coach. We had a week off. All right, we've had two bad losses already. I don't see Norvell allowing himself to drop a third loss in a row, third time favored. I don't see it. Memphis is not a slouch. I get that. They put some solid seasons together, especially under Mike Norvell, but the talent's just not there. Florida State just has a much more talented roster. I think they finally put that talent on the field together, make something dynamic happen, even if DJ is the one throwing the ball this week. Last week, this was a 17-point spread. I don't know why it changed this week instead of 2 weeks ago. I would have thought that it would have dropped 11 points 2 weeks ago, but I would have taken the 17-point spread. Florida State needs to do something. They need to come out, show up, throw 30 up on the board as quick as they can, and just remind everybody, hey, we might trip and fall, but we come back. I'm taking Florida State to cover.
Oh, let's go. Let me see what Jacob said first before I go. Jacob also chose Florida State to cover.
I told you y'all picked the same picks this week.
That's just because if Florida State loses, we like that even more.
I'm probably gonna stay away from that. I gotta see Florida State win before I do anything because it's not the talent that worries me about this team. It's just the do you have the will to even want to compete and play? Like at this point, like
A lot of
there's
buster play so far this year.
yeah, it's
Little
like
excitement.
it's like one thing to be unprepared, but it's another thing to not even feel like you even showed up for the games. 'Cause right now you're two, so I've been reading the practice reports from War Chant, and it's not great. To be honest with you, it's still kind of like the same mistakes, at least from the beat writers down there. So, which is kind of even crazy, but with the bet I'm about to take with this game, I'm going to do it because I'm gonna have faith because I don't really care about winning. I don't care. Well, I do care about winning. I take that back, but
That's my
I just want to see some points. Like, dude, I think y'all score more than like 2 touchdowns. So I'm gonna take the Florida State over 29.5 total points in this game because if it's not DJ, I hope it's Brock because at this point I need to see something or at minimal this run game to take off, which is supposed to be the Achilles heel of this team.
this was supposed to be, man, big O line, big playability team. Where are the big plays?
Yeah, where are they? Which some is on DJ because you look back at some of those games, man. Those wide receivers were getting separation. Like come into summer camp, like the wide receiver position was part of the point as a weakness for this team. And I don't think it's as bad. I think some of the young guys should be given a shot, hopefully more, like Elijah Moore, Hakeem Williams. I'm kind of waiting on him to show up because he was a 5-star last year, top 20 player. So let's wait for some of these players to live up to the billing. This has got to be a bounce back because after this, you have to go 6-4 in your next 10 just to make 500. And it's not easy because you got to play Clemson, you got to play Miami, and you got Florida. So we got to get some momentum going. So give me the nose to put up at least 30 in this game.
Didn't y'all lose a running back?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all Jalen Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
He was the backup to Rodell Williams.
I was gonna say he was kind of like the number 3, really.
Number 3, really, yeah.
I mean, I just saw that he had a couple catches, a couple rushes. I didn't know where
he was looking good. He's fast as hell.
He was good, yeah. But I think his injury's been downgraded from season ending to 4 or 5 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks. Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I thought it was originally for the year. I didn't.
Yeah, I think it's been downgraded since then. I think they're more hopeful that he might be able to come back earlier than anticipated.
But it's a big shout out to Cam Davis if you're watching. That's our big 5-star, not 5, he was 4-star.
Hey Cam, show up. It's your time. Your time. You're a monster of a man.
Yeah, dude, he's a freshman. He looks like kind of like how Herschel Walker was looking in his like freshman year, just fucking jacked. I'm like, dude, how you play high school? Let me check your birth certificate.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, we got one more game. This is going to be the game of the week. College game day. It's about to travel down to Columbia, South Carolina to watch the Gamecocks welcome LSU, their first Tiger they're going to have to play this season. Unless they play Auburn, too. I don't think South Carolina plays Auburn this year.
They don't.
I don't think they play Auburn.
Yeah.
They play too many way better teams this year.
Yeah. They welcome LSU. LSU 6.5 point favorites on the road. 12 o'clock kickoff for this game. Gamecocks come off a very good, impressive win against Kentucky. Don't know what to weigh on that, but no one was expecting to be on 31-6. I can tell you that. Well, the resident undercover Gamecock fan, Matt, I'll let you take the lead on this. What are your thoughts on the Tigers and the Gamecocks?
Just to touch base on that Carolina game, when the announcers come out and talk about Brock Vandergriff and he's got to be thinking, maybe I didn't have it so bad at Georgia behind Carson Beck and Stetson Bennett. That should tell you everything you need to know because he was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He had 6 completions? No, he had 6 attempts in the first half for 30 yards. I mean, do they know we invented the forward pass? I don't know. Kentucky did not look good. I don't even know if they have one playmaker on that offense. Carolina looked better this week than they did, or last week than they did against Old Dominion, which I don't know if that says something about Old Dominion or Kentucky. Still not overly impressed with the quarterback. I think he's more of a runner. At 6'5", 240. I mean, good luck. So just LSU, not overly impressed with them either against that Southern Cal team. I took the under. I mean, I don't trust either one of their offenses. The defenses are meh. So give me the under on them slowing down a couple of slow offenses.
All right, then.
And I probably answered for Jacob too, apparently.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me know what Jacob picked first.
Jacob took South Carolina money line
Oh,
on this.
you don't say.
And I'm the undercover Carolina fan. Got it.
Hey, Spurs up over here. Brian, take the floor. It's all yours.
Oh, I'm happy to. There are two reasons why South Carolina dominated Kentucky the way they did. And they are two freshman reasons named Josiah Thompson and Dylan Stewart. Those two freshmen on that defensive line were monsters on Saturday. At one point in the fourth quarter, Kentucky was lining up 8 protection. 5-0, their 5-0 line, double tight end with a fullback. And Carolina was still sacking the quarterback with 3 and 4 man rushes because those two boys, Josiah Thompson and Dylan Stewart. Hi. What
Sorry,
up?
she wanted to make an appearance. Sorry.
Hey.
Oh, no problem. We
Guest
welcome.
appearance is always welcome, right?
This podcast is for the kiddos.
There you go.
Hashtag another sponsor.
What have we said about Shane Beamer since he took that job? He's a great cheerleader, right? Those boys at Carolina, they look hyped. And you know that he's just going to let them ride that wave all week and build them up, get them excited for this game. Nussmeier is looking stellar at LSU. I get it, but their defense hasn't been able to really shut down the high potent offense of Southern California. I'm not saying that the Gamecocks have a high-powered offense, but they have a steady one. At one point during the game when Sellers went out, they ran the ball not 10 times in a row, but 10 out of 11 times for a touchdown drive. That means Kentucky knew what they were going to do. They still couldn't stop them.
Well, Kentucky ran the same. They did the same thing right before halftime. 12 run plays in a row. Never let Brock Vandegrift throw the ball.
Probably scared to.
They were probably scared too. And in this case, Carolina, they had Ashcroft transfer from Oregon. Even Oregon, when he did come in and play,
Thought he was from Auburn. Sorry.
Auburn?
Yeah, he's Auburn transfer.
Oregon. Okay, Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he did play, was not a big passing guy. He was in there for run packages, wildcat packages, that kind of thing. Yeah, it was Auburn. You're right. Yeah, Tigers. Yeah. Nussmeier's already thrown 8 touchdowns. I think he's going to get a few more against the Gamecocks this week, but this is LSU's second loss to USC this season. I'm taking the South Carolina money line this week.
Oh, 2 money line picks in the same game.
He's learning. I guess him and Jacob are buddies now.
Thunder buddies over there. Would there be a possible third money line pick? Hell no. I was pretty confident in in the off season that if South Carolina South Carolina is the team of catching you off guard, and there was a game they could do it. I thought it would be the LSU game. It was the LSU or Ole Miss, so it would be the 2 games. Ole Miss actually was pretty good, so I'm gonna back up the Ole Miss one right now until conference play kind of starts for them. But LSU defense is still horrible. So if South Carolina can just run the ball and kind of keep the LSU's offense off the field and play good,
avoid turnovers
and quick turnovers, yes. Kind of like what Matt said. I'm rooting for Lenore Sellers, from the hometown of Florence. So I want him to thrive. He's a big quarterback, but the passing game right now is a work in progress. That's the best way to say it. But with a dominant defensive line, where it's looking like, which I was pretty confident about the South Carolina defensive line. I thought if South Carolina was going to win, it was going to be with a dominant defensive line and a strong running game. Kind of like the same shit I thought with Florida State, honestly. Like the same plan. And you can run option with.
That was supposed to be our biggest strength this year.
Yeah. So the way South Carolina's defensive line, they have at minimal a top 3 defensive line in the SEC so far this season. This is the best offensive line they're going to have to face so far, especially with the matchup at the left tackle for LSU against Dylan Stewart. So I'm going to be watching that. I'm actually be there live in person. So if you catch me out there, guys who might be watching, following, whether you're listening on Spotify or catching us on Twitch and YouTube, I'm going to go live right before the game at the tailgate, give my quick thoughts. For kickoff, I'm probably a little lit because leaving Charleston like stupid early because college game day is down, which I wasn't expecting. So it's going to bring so many more people to this game now. But regardless,
Sold out.
I was going to pop out. I haven't been to a South Carolina game in a few years too. So Matt, you want to drive down for Lugoff? Holler at your boy. But I'm going to take the Gamecocks the cover.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
And this would be a madhouse. I wouldn't blame you not to come. Like more I think about it now is I probably shouldn't go, but
I gotta say one thing I don't have confidence in right now is Brian Kelly, especially under pressure, man. Like he has not looked like the calm, collected dude that he did. I mean, I wouldn't say calm and collect, but he has not looked as calm as the head coach at LSU that he used to look like at Notre Dame. He gets a lot more frazzled. He gets frustrated a lot more than you used to see him up there. And look, I don't know if he's got this locker room behind him right now. I mean, he just went out on public TV and threw his team under the bus.
yeah.
My favorite thing was he blasted his kicker at halftime last week. Just belittled him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know you got to coach, but sometimes you got to be careful when you're coaching like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of that's how Brian Kelly is. Though. It was kind of the same with Notre Dame. I think it's a little different now because part of the LSU boosters and alumni and fans are up his ass. It's a little different in South Bend than for Baton Rouge. Like it's football crazy down there, man. Like LSU is that state's pride. So we see how it goes. I guess before we end the night, is there any other game that we haven't covered that you're watching, or you might have a pick or bet for? On the slate. The slate isn't crazy great, but there's some little sneaky gems in there.
Yeah, I got one. We got a matchup Indiana teams. Notre Dame's playing Purdue at Purdue. I don't remember what city that's in.
West Lafayette.
Lafayette, thank you. After the showing that Notre Dame put up last week, I know they beat Texas A&M. I get it, at Texas A&M, but what better time as the head coach of Purdue than to throw everything against the wall at your opponent coming into your stadium? I wouldn't be surprised to see if Purdue keeps it tight, maybe even pulls off a back-to-back upset against Notre Dame this week.
Okay. Ooh,
Yeah, I
big
mean
one.
there's a couple interesting ones out there that I've kind of looked at. Tulane, Oklahoma is an interesting one to the 13.5 point spread. I just think that's a lot. Oklahoma hasn't looked the best so far. Utah State without Cam Rising being a 20-point spread. It's one I'm a little bit interested in. But the biggest one, Georgia, Kentucky, with Georgia having 24-point spread with the total of 45.5 over under. I don't know if Georgia wants to score 45.5. They might. Kentucky's not going to score on them. If it's the same offense as what I just watched on Saturday, Brock Vandagriff might just go over at halftime, see if he can get his jersey back. I just don't think it's going to be fun for him. And if it's 6 completions, 30 yards at a half, and then you're going against the best team in the country, whose defense is their strength. I just don't think it can get better, or it shouldn't, in theory. In theory, so that's one I'm really thinking about hammering the under on. Just I don't know if Georgia wants to beat them 45-0. They might. They very well might, but 24-point spread. I think Georgia can cover that pretty easy.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
uh,
Go ahead,
oh,
Matt. Go
no,
Ryan.
what you got, man?
I'm gonna give you 3 games. Kind of just
Okay.
one's kind of like this first one's kind of like more of a vibes, like Jacob feeling the vibes over there. And I don't think the vibes are good in Norman right now. So I'm looking at Tulane at plus 13.5. That looks like a good solid cover, given how I know K-State. They played K-State pretty tight this past week. I think that's going to travel
Super
well
tight.
more. Super tight. Where they
Super tight.
should have won the damn game, honestly, if they didn't turn the damn ball over.
Yeah, that pick 6 really kind of killed them.
Killed them. So watch that Tulane Oklahoma game. I don't see where it's at. Scroll down. Glad.
That's at Oklahoma. So
Virginia, Maryland. I got Virginia plus 3.
Old school rivalry.
Old school rivalry, old former ACC rivalry.
Yeah, when it was the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Now it's big DC battle right there. I think Virginia's is more improved. I think Tony Elliott's kind of figuring some things out. The Whoopsie Daisy King himself at quarterback for UVA. He either gonna make some plays or is gonna make a pick. There's no in between with this guy. Then there's one more game I have. Where's that? Oh yeah,
I do
Matt.
worry about the Who's in that game. I know Tony Elliott's turned them around, these last couple weeks, but that was one I saw and I was like, I don't know if I trust Tony enough.
Get the home man.
It's not like Virginia's a huge advantage. They might have 20,000 people there. They're more worried about studying and all that other stuff in Charlottesville and rioting. And,
they're checking where they're landing on the ADA list. They're seeing if they pushed up in the Ivy leagues yet. That's their excitement this weekend.
It's not like a huge 80,000 at home there, so I don't think that's a huge advantage. Yes, Maryland has to travel there, but you're talking a couple hundred miles.
Yeah. What's the other game? Oh yeah.
Sorry.
The last game, I would say, probably the game that should be bigger than what people are giving attention to.
I know where you're going.
Given this slate. But I'm going to say UCF and TCU.
Oh, okay.
That's they're both 2-0. This is kind of a big game in the Big 12, kind of determining, there's 18 teams in that team. So, like, every one of these little games that kind of do matter, given the tiebreakers and if you're really going to try to play for a playoff spot. I think right now it's UCF at -1.5. I think the TCU money line would be the best play on this game if you actually are just trying to make money with the plus 110. Because I think this game can go either way. I probably will say UCF wins if KJ Jefferson just running dudes over, but I wouldn't be surprised if TCU pulls it off either. I think they're about evenly matched. I think whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, obviously, is probably going to take it home. But I've seen
KJ Jefferson return to what we saw a few years ago down there at Central Florida. Because 2 years ago at Arkansas, or 3 years ago maybe, he was electric, man. He was can't miss football, and then last year just a dud. I don't know what happened.
Well, I think with Gus, man, Gus is going to simplify it for him. So, and with him being like a big body quarterback and pretty mobile, it's going to make that rushing attack elite. They have one of the best running backs in the country in that backfield with UCF. I think TCU won't stop them. I think it'll be like 36-33 game. Like it's going to be back and forth. Like this is going to be like the Big 12. Hey, we're putting points up.
No defense.
I think The over. Let me see what the over is actually in this game.
How many points did TCU give up to Stanford?
Um, the
30.
over. Yeah, the over 62, 61.5. They only gave a 3. They only gave 3 Stanford. Damn, I didn't realize it was that
So
dominant.
I
Yeah,
do have like a
no, it's
couple. I
34
do.
to 27.
Well, I got one more game real quick.
I was wondering which one you were thinking, Ryan, because you're like, oh,
This
that
is one
wasn't
I
the one I was
thought.
thinking.
I thought for sure that Nick was going to bring up the Texas A&M Florida game.
4 points, Texas
Oh,
A&M
yeah.
favorites.
4 points, Texas A&M favorites. I mean,
Hammering that.
both. I'm taking that all day. Right now, I'm taking that all day. I know they both lost week 1 to teams that I'm sure a lot of Florida fans expected to win that game against Miami. They both got a chance to grease the wheels last week. Florida played Samford, beat them significantly, and Texas A&M beat McNeese State. I think McNeese State. Both of them really handled business last week. So I mean, maybe worked a few kinks out, but A&M played a much tighter game against Notre Dame. And I know I've said it, and I'll always say it, the Swamp's one of the toughest places to play in college football, man. But Elko, I think that's a smart coach. I still don't know what Napier really is doing down there at Florida. Every time I watch them play, you know, I want to see them lose, but at this point, it's almost sad. They look lost so often. I think Elko's probably got A&M much more prepared. The Aggies go down in the Swamp and they take care of business. I'm taking that 4-point cover all day long.
I'll fight you on that.
Yep. Fight me.
Yeah, I'll take Florida.
Everybody really wants to know if Vanderbilt's going to go 3-0 against Georgia State. Don't lie.
Hey,
Vandy, 10.5-point favorite.
I'm about to put 100 down Vandy to win the SEC.
Natty. Put them in the natty,
Plus
baby.
Plus 9,500. Let's go.
Does a 9-3 Vanderbilt team go to the playoffs?
A 6-6 Vanderbilt team should go to the playoffs.
All right, fellas, I'm going to fall off here so I can get my daughter to get to bed.
All right, man.
Later,
Catch you later.
fellas.
I guess before I end it, I do want to comment on that Texas A&M Florida game. I think Florida's switching to DJ Lagway, who's the 5-star quarterback coming as a freshman. He does look better. I'm not reading in freshman. Obviously, you can't really predict, but I think he's going to give him at least a little ability of throwing the ball downfield and some mobility more than what Graham Mertz has. So I think that might change up the offense a little bit to help him out. I feel confident that not that they're going to figure it out, but I think both these teams are kind of a lot closer together than what that's what the spread is at 4.5. I'll take Florida to cover, though. They can cover it unless they just don't show up again like they did Miami. But I think Miami, like I said in the beginning of the season, I thought Miami was probably the best team coming to ACC. Coming in this year. Right now, they've been playing like it mainly because they got Cam
Ward,
and they got some weapons. They can throw the ball. We always thought it's not the team. We thought it would be the coach. So far, he's not in the way, and they're putting up points. You see, they hold it up because they have a pretty light schedule in their next 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes with that before they actually have to play. I think their next big game is probably Virginia Tech, maybe.
Virginia Tech couldn't get past Vanderbilt, so
Couldn't get past Vanderbilt. So yeah, there's that. My dark horse. I think Louisville is also a sleeper for Miami too.
Louisville could be a sleeper, man. I mean, Braun, when he was at Purdue, he put up wins.
Yeah.
Now he's back at his alma mater. I think there's a little more drive to win there. So don't count out Louisville yet. I still like that Cal. Idea though, man. Like, who knows? Maybe we'll see Cal in the ACC championship. God, I hope not. Like, God, I hope not.
That'd be a first year. But hey, man, Missouri went to the SEC championship in their first year, so it's possible.
It's more that I'd be sad that we weren't there. I know Clemson's not going to make it, but
we know Clemson's not going to make it.
No, we know.
Cade Clay Klubnik.
Yeah,
I know he had 7 touchdowns, but it's App State. And I love App State, but come on now. With that being said, guys, we're gonna call it a wrap here. Once again, if you're following us on YouTube or Twitch, please subscribe. We're gonna be here every Tuesday night for the season. We're on Spotify now. Campus Odds and Ends. Please check us out there. Give us a follow there. If you listen to us on the audio side, Matt's gone, Jacob's gone. Comes to guys suck. 4 State Boys hold it down.
Go Noles, baby.
Once again, Ryan, appreciate you. We'll have a good Saturday, man. Let's make this money. Let's get
You
the
too.
bag.
Enjoy that game, man. You know I'm gonna be cheering for the Gamecocks this weekend.
Oh, Spurs up, baby. Catch me
Right.
live, man. I'm be out there.
All right.
All right, man. Later, fellas.
Have a good one.